All right, we now welcome on to Inside TBT, the captain of the money team, Jordon Crawford. Jordon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, we are happy to have you. We are excited to have you. You know, this team, the money team, has kind of turned into what looks like an NBA roster overnight. Can you tell us a little bit about how this team kind of has come together?
This past season, I kind of just reached out to Floyd about trying to get a team together. And as soon as I asked him, he was all for it. So I reached out to him and his right-hand man, James, and they said, you take the ropes and make a team. So that's what I try to do with TJ and Dan, who came from Team Fredette, and Jeff Ledbetter. So we basically took us four and try to build around that.
You've done a pretty good job of doing that, I'd say. I think it's also safe to say that the money team is the most interesting team in the TBT. I mean, no other team is backed by Floyd Money Mayweather or anyone near that.
Yeah, definitely. So that definitely brought some excitement to the table as well, too. So too bad, like the quarantine and everything, but hopefully, like for the years to come, it'll just get bigger.
Yeah, definitely. So with the quarantine, it's obviously made it difficult for you guys to kind of play together or have any practices or anything like that. How do you think you guys are looking going into this thing?
I think we're looking pretty good. We've been keeping the communication all the time, just trying to build a bond as a group. You know, we got some guys that are closer with other guys, and I think that helps just coming together as one. You know, the quicker you can click, the better off it is.
For you specifically, how have you been able or not able to stay in basketball shape during this pandemic?
I came home early around maybe 3 months ago I was in Turkey, and during that time I kind of I don't know, I thought it was an off season, but like I kind of still stayed in like a grind mode because I never knew if we was going to get a call to go back or not. So I just like biked, running, lifting every day, and I have a court in the backyard from when I was a kid, so I would get a lot of shots up there. But it's nothing like compared to like when you start fighting over screens and playing 5-on-5. Like it's a different type shape, but I actually feel good. Like when I went back onto the court, like I felt like I didn't miss a beat. So
I think it's pretty cool that everyone's in the same shoes for the first time. You know, like in years past, guys are going to outwork guys, and that's kind of how it is all the time. But now it's almost as level as a playing field as you could have, just because the majority of people are shooting outside. Like, you know, maybe they've gotten a week or two in a pickup before this thing ramps up. But besides that, it's just them by themselves. Is that something that you think that gives you guys some sort of advantage?
Yeah, of course. I think it really, not even only for TBT, but for the next season and everything, you'll really see who's really took the quarantine serious as far as like just doing stuff. I mean, I know you still need to let your bodies rest and all that stuff, but at the same time, knowing this is coming up, just hoping that all the guys are taking precautions and to getting back into playing, because we, at the end of the day, we don't want anybody injured, everybody be safe, because it's bigger than just this. We got careers as well.
Jordon, you've played really all over the world, from Canton, Ohio to Turkey to the TBT. You know, I'm kind of curious for you as a veteran of TBT, how does it compare to other leagues that you've played in?
You know, it's good just to being back and hearing like no broken English and playing in front of like fans and stuff, that like your family gets to come to the games. Like that's been the biggest thing, like because my parents, I usually have like a big fan base when it comes to my family. They've traveled from when I was a kid all the way up to college. And so when they get a chance to watch me play, that's always a great thing for me too. So I think that's the biggest thing, with family being there and just being amongst like guys, like all your friends and stuff. Because most teams are built off of like relationships and stuff like that. So that's probably the best part about it.
Before we get too far away from that question I just asked, I got a little bit of a Canton connection. My dad's from there. I got a lot of family there. Curious what your experience was like in Canton, Ohio. I think you played about 15 to 20 games there.
That doesn't look good.
Wasn't the greatest. Wasn't the greatest. You know, it was a small town. The people were good though. Don't get me wrong. The people were good. amazing atmosphere there. It just wasn't a lot to do. You know, Canton's a small city. So I was only there for a short period of time. So I really didn't get a chance to really explore like some of the local dining and stuff like that. But for the most part, I kind of just stick to myself and try to get to the rest of the season.
Did you go to the Football Hall of Fame? That's the real question.
I did not.
Okay,
go.
well, I mean, that's all Canton has to offer.
We got to get you back there.
I know. I'm not. I mean, I like football, but it's nothing like I wasn't excited.
It's not worth it.
To go.
My grandparents have charged season tickets, so I'm sure they're big fans of yours.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
They definitely had a good crowd there, though. It's probably the only thing that goes on there.
Anyway, let's kind of reel this back in. We know you talked about the differences between overseas life, you know, domestic United States life. You know, if we're reeling in TBT with that, basketball-wise, what are the differences? What are the similarities between a tournament like TBT? I mean, it's an event. It's not a league. Versus playing overseas, playing in the G League. What do you see as differences and similarities?
I think the difference is, you know, is one and done. Like, so you can't have an off night. Like, there's no off nights. If you can have an off night, you gotta go home. So I think that's mentally you have to be prepared. And games come fast as well too. So you gotta take care of your bodies and be ready for that, because sometimes you might play back to back or whatever. So that's tough as well, which is different than overseas. But I think the similarities is just basketball. You know, like everybody's still competing. It's still like on a high level. And you're playing against like super talented teams. Like it's not just maybe one or two or five guys on the team. You got a whole roster fill of guys that anybody comes in and anybody can kill at any time. So that's always a fun part about it. Even the big names, like you always want that challenge. So like I look forward to some of them challenges as well.
You guys got a lot of, you know, former NBA players. Guys are still trying to make the NBA, stuff like that. Have there been any conversations between you guys, maybe like a group text, like saying like, hey, man, you're our guy. You got to carry us this summer. We need you.
Maybe not so much that. I think the biggest thing we've been talking about is basically whoever's going at the time, that's what we need to do. We're not here to, you know, ain't no hero game or nothing. Like each person has to bring to the table something. If it's not your day, you still have to be able to contribute to the team. And if you're not trying to contribute to the team, then we don't want you.
So what do you bring to the team?
I think experience, leadership, energy, and then just feeding off, trying to get everybody else involved, to get everybody else going, and I'll find my way through all that.
All right,
that's the point guard mindset right there. I love that.
It's a Tuesday night. You guys don't play until Thursday. What do you bring to the Columbus, Ohio quarantine party?
Ooh. I don't know, maybe a couple Normatex, some ice baths. I'm sure we'll have some some gaming systems for the guys to play. I might bring in a cornhole. That's a Midwest thing. Gotta bring the cornhole.
You call it cornhole?
Yeah, what do you guys call it?
What do you call it, Andrew?
I call it bago.
Yeah, I call it bags.
Oh, I heard bags.
I think that's the main. So I told you I went to school at Ohio State, and everyone calls it cornhole there, and obviously it must be an Ohio thing, right? Because
for sure. I want to say I started in Ohio.
Because I've never heard it called cornhole until I got to school.
Okay, where are you from?
Chicago.
Yeah, we're both from Chicago, but I went to Mizzou, and it's bags at Mizzou.
I've heard bags before, though. I heard that.
Midwest is cornhole or bags. I've heard people call it all types of stuff other places, but like I agree that the argument is it's either cornhole or bags. It's nothing else. It's not bago.
Since I was a kid. Yeah, I never heard that one. Never heard that one.
I was worried to say it because I was like, no one else is going to know this one. I don't want to say it.
Yeah, never heard that one.
I want to take a step back again. I keep doing that, but I got to ask you. You talked about guys that they're elite. There's elite talent on every team, and it's not just one or two guys like you said. You've played a lot of games in the TBT, either before or now. Who are you most excited to go up against?
I think we played against everybody. You know, we haven't got to play overseas elite yet. You know, that would be a good challenge for us as well. Syracuse, we haven't played them. Marquette, we haven't played them. Those are all talented teams that bring it every year and always have a huge a roster. So there would be some big teams I would like to play against as well. We played Ohio State.
Not at 100%, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, but seriously, wasn't that after Sully's wedding? In all seriousness.
Yeah, it was.
If Sully was as dedicated, as Jordon, then he would have been there and they would have won.
No, they wouldn't have won.
Sully was there.
Well, then he played.
Then who wasn't at full strength?
A lot of guys either weren't there or were half there.
Don't say that was their best roster.
No. It was or wasn't. I'm agreeing with you.
They said that was their best roster.
They had the guys they were missing weren't the biggest pieces, without a doubt. Hey, well, agree to disagree. Obviously, you guys were better. There's no doubt about that. You guys won.
Jordon, I'm going to ask you this, and I think your question's going to be no one. By the way, you're answering that last question. So the bracket comes out tomorrow. Is there any team that you're like, I do not want to play those guys in the first few rounds?
Not at all.
Come on. Why even ask that?
It was a layup. It was a layup question.
What about the reverse of that? I know I already asked you teams you're excited to go against. Is there any players that you really want to shout at?
I feel like I played against most guys, like most of the guys. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's anybody like I'm looking forward to play against. I think it's more teams than I would individual wise, So I can't really speak on that. That's probably the biggest thing, just certain teams.
One specific individual we got to ask you about is your former teammate, Jimmer Fredette. I know you have to be in contact with him.
Yeah, that's my guy.
And what's his deal?
That's my guy, man. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't. In my head, I don't think he's gonna play this year.
Anymore.
Quarantine is kind of, he just had a newborn and everything, and I know he doesn't get to spend a lot of time with the family as well. So that always comes first.
Absolutely.
Any new or any more roster moves we can expect to see from the money team?
We got a few guys that we've been talking to and wanting to play, but we only can have 12 guys, so it just really depends on the guys that we have. Hopefully everybody follows through and whatnot, and we'll have to go from there.
It's so important. You kind of talked about it. It's so important that it's not about, accumulating all this talent. You got to make sure the pieces fit and that they want the team's success.
For sure. Because I see a lot of talent on some of these teams, like a bunch of them. But in my head, I'm like, that's like 5 scorers on the team. Like, there's not gonna be enough basketballs. When you building a team, you have to have an actual team. Like, it's cool to have big name guys and people that can really fill it up, but you also got to have them intangible pieces that is willing to play the defense, willing to rebound, or willing to just take the back seat and say, hey, whatever you guys need. Like, it's a lot of guys in the tournament but that maybe pride issues that don't want to take that back seat.
Yeah, and that's what takes teams to the next level, because every team is – we said it 100 times, every team is super talented, but teams like – even the team Fredette, when I was in Columbus for those games, Carmen's crew, the Marquette team, they don't have the most talent. It's just that's the truth. And they
play together, they play hard, they play defense, and they play together. Like
they want to win.
Yep.
Exactly. And because every team is great, but only 10 teams are elite, especially this year. It's probably less than that.
For sure. Hands down.
How many of –
this year is going to be tough too, because a lot of – it's tough to tell guys to say you have to stay in this one location for this long, especially guys that make a lot of money and stuff. Like, they're like, oh God, you're not about to tell me what I'm gonna do. Like, you really have to love playing basketball, and on top of, like, people have families as well. Like, if you have families, like, some people want to be with their family, which I fully understand. Like, so
it'll be interesting because at least it's only 10 days, and not everyone's gonna be there for 10 days, obviously.
Right.
Think about versus the NBA, which is 3 months that you got to be in the bubble.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think so?
Really? What's your reasoning to that?
That's hard to tell somebody that they can't see their family for 3 months, especially with guys that make that type of money. Like,
Did you there's no provisions in there where they can quarantine with their family. I thought I heard that.
They were saying something like they can't come to the playoffs or something like that, but that might be
Yeah.
2 months in.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's like the scale of, obviously some of those guys don't need that money, but some guys do, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So that's hard. But like, I think it's a little bit different than TBT just because they'll be quarantined. But like, I heard from some of my friends like that they're going to have the golf course open for them and stuff. And like, they're going to be able to leave versus TBT. You're not, I mean, everything's going to be there for you. Like, you're not, me, I wouldn't be complaining. Some other guys probably, which is fine.
Of course.
And so it's obviously the TBT is not the NBA also, but you know, it'll be interesting because if the TBT bubble works for 10 days and that's an extreme bubble, I would think that enough guys will be able to sacrifice in the NBA to make it happen. I mean, people need basketball, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Sports in general, man, it's been rough.
Yeah. Here's what I'm kind of curious about with the NBA. So there's been rumors that if guys don't want to play, they'll be replaced with replacement players. And I think it can be guys who were either on rosters at any point this year or last year. And there's a fair amount of TBT players who were rostered either this year or last year. Do you think there's any room for a guy has a good couple of days, July 4th through the 8th, and then you hear an NBA team calling them from TBT?
I mean, it's always a possibility. You always got to look at it as a possibility. But at the same time, you don't want guys to go out there for TBT and say, I'm using this as my platform to get to the league. Like, you still want them to play in the right system and everything, play the right way. But it definitely could be a way for guys to get that call that they need or to get back in the league or just to get to the league.
I think it's just exactly what you're saying. Like, you got to go in with the mentality of, I'm here for TBT. I'm here for this team. If something else happens, whether that's an unbelievable contract in Europe or, you know, a two-way deal or, I mean, I don't even know if it's possible going to the bubble. Like, that's just gravy. You know, and I think you know, I shouldn't say everyone, but everyone who's obviously there for the right intentions is going to agree with that. And we've talked about it before. That's what's going to separate teams is guys there for the right reasons, no hidden agendas or anything like that.
For sure.
So, you know, obviously I feel like things would be a little different in terms of who would be involved with TBT and stuff like that if there was no quarantine. Do you know how much Floyd was going to be involved with the team and potentially being there for any of the games if there was no quarantine?
Hopefully, like, I mean, you know, with him, he has his own schedule and moves day by day. But I'm sure when it came down to it, hopefully we would have been a Vegas team and everything. He for sure would have showed up and sat on the bench and support because he loves basketball. So he's super supportive about the situation. So hands down, he would be there.
I think next year, looking a little bit ahead, we have to, if you can roster 12 people, I don't know, in years past, it's like you pay an extra $1,000 to have an extra roster spot or whatever. I think it's safe to say we got to get him suited up. He doesn't have to go in, but we got to get suited up.
I don't know if he'll suit up. I don't know about that.
Let me ask you this, though, okay? So Chris Paul is kind of another big-name GM booster sponsor for Team CP3. This is my question, okay? Who's got a better chance of winning? Chris Paul in a fight against Floyd or Floyd in a one-on-one game to 12 against Chris Paul?
Floyd.
You
playing
think?
Basketball, for sure.
That's not – I think – I agree. Obviously, you would know better, but basketball and fighting is – that's
two different things. At least basketball, you might lose or something, but fighting, you might not wake up.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Chris Paul, but, I mean, Floyd's the best to ever do it. So, you know, that's got to be worth something. Also, basketball, like, you got a chance to chuck it up and it goes in. There's nothing that doesn't equate to boxing. You can't just close your eyes and
you don't play boxing. You don't play boxing.
What do you think? What do you think Floyd would think? Floyd would think of Canton, Ohio.
Probably the same thing I was thinking. I don't need to go there. Probably what he would say. Nothing there for me.
I wonder, you think Floyd's ever been to Ohio in general? I feel like there's nothing for him in Ohio.
We went to Cincinnati together, my hometown, and we went to like the preseason game when they played at Xavier.
Oh, there you go.
Last
Ohio guy, clearly.
My man actually owns a hotel in Cincinnati.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, Joey.
No,
Which one?
I'm kidding.
Last Floyd question. If you sent him the Zoom link, would he hop in it?
He probably don't know what Zoom is.
What if you gave him a call? You think he'd answer?
Yeah, he would definitely answer the phone. I wouldn't throw that on him though. But if I could definitely ask him, like if we was around, if he was here right now, he would jump in on the call right now. Like if I was next to him, he would definitely jump in on the call.
He'd probably be.
I got two knuckleheads on this interview with me for the TBT. He would just hang up.
I'm game to give it a try.
We'll have to do when next time I'm around him, I'll send you guys a text and see if we can jump on a Zoom call.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely, that'd be cool. And when you get to Columbus, when you're doing quarantine stuff, you're gonna have a lot of time on your hands. We'll definitely want to do interview round 2 for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Grab you a couple of the other guys, and you can pitch to us why the country should be TMT fans this summer.
That's too easy though. You want to give us that answer right now? Why should if Andrew? Because my allegiances for Carmen's crew, but more specifically for Big X, because those are my teammates from college.
Okay.
Pitch to Andrew, he's a free agent. He's a TBT free agent. Why should he be a
who's on your list? Who's on your list?
Well, let's see. I like the Carmen's crew guys because I grew up kind of an Ohio State fan. I like Team Hines. Marcus Denman went to Mizzou. And, I'm a big Heard That fan. We had a great interview with John Elmore. And John Elmore actually called Mike Tyson. So, yeah. John Elmore.
Mike Tyson still ain't did what Floyd did.
John Elmore called Mike Tyson, and then we had Fletcher McGee on, and he called Tyson Fury. So you got a way to one up those guys, and then I'd be an automatic fan.
See, you can't be a fan off of just that.
Yeah, that's so true.
I didn't want to say it. You got to be a fan.
Well, tell us why. Yeah. Convince him.
You got to be a fan of TMT, the money team, because we got great guys. We're going to come to Ohio, where I'm from. We got this guy right here, Ohio State guy. So he's an Ohio guy. So you got to join the team. This is like the second Ohio team.
And you played for the Charge, and my dad's from Canton, and my grandparents live in Canton. I think I'm sold.
And we got a good roster. We got a loaded roster.
All right, I'll make you a deal right now. All right,
let's hear this deal.
I'll make you a deal right now. Okay, it's Monday today, so I'll give you a week. If in my mailbox I got some cool TMT gear by next Monday, consider me a fan. But I cannot be bought. That's not a bribe.
That is being bought.
That's being gifted.
Crazy.
That's being gifted. Bought.
I'll tell you what, I can be bought. That I'll come out and say right away. So you said anything my way. It can be TMT socks.
Are y'all gonna be y'all gonna be in Columbus?
I live in Columbus, so I'll be. I don't know if we're allowed to say what we're gonna be able to do or not.
We're figuring it out.
Maybe. If safety wise.
Where are you gonna be at, Drew?
I'm in Chicago, but we're hoping if safety permits it, we'll be able to see you guys and be around things at some point, but there's no guarantees with everything that's going on. Even Joey, who's going to be down the street, may not be allowed.
I literally
maybe if y'all permitted to go, maybe I might have some socks for y'all.
Oh,
done deal.
What you got in them shoe boxes back there?
I got a little issue, little sneaker issue. Yeah, so I used to work for Nike, so. I got some good Nike stuff.
Why you start working there?
This past summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a blast. Obviously, that was like childhood dream stuff.
I bet.
I mean, have you been to the Portland campus?
No, I have not.
That it's like an amusement park, but just like if you like shoes. It's
Right.
just,
You know, Joey, you're talking your dream. You got the money team gear. Let me tell you what I want. I want some Puma gear. I want some Zell gear.
that's a
I
good
want
point.
I want some TBT gear. So I actually don't want the team money team gear. Send me unless there's a little Puma logo on it or a Zell logo on it. I don't want it.
That's a good point.
I'm off.
Tell Puma to hook us up with some nice gear this year. Some TMT nice little collaboration.
Well,
That'd be cool.
You know that if you guys wanted to do that, that's a done deal.
Yeah, I know.
And we can talk off the air about my little sneaker problems.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the last thing we always want our guests to have the opportunity to do, if you have any questions for us, fire them away because we'll answer them for you right away.
Did you lose us? Or are you thinking about questions?
Hold on. What? I was listening to something else. Sorry.
I said
we like to do at the end. We asked you a bunch of questions, right? I don't know if you've been listening or not, but we've been asking you a bunch of questions. So it's your turn now. If you had any questions for us, we'll answer them all. Andrew will definitely answer them all.
All right. Let's have a little question and answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's your favorite for the TBT? Not your favorite team.
I'll answer first. I've gone on record on the podcast saying that, and this was, I'll be transparent. It was before you guys had made all your moves, and I'm sure you guys will have more moves. I went on record and said I think Boeheim's Army is probably the favorite this year.
Okay.
Because my reasoning is they're as veteran can be in terms of their roster, both in playing and TBT playing. And then also, I just think it's like their turn. Like all the alumni teams have come really close. They've been close. I don't know. I just think it's their turn. I don't know. That's my gut feeling.
What about you?
I got the basic answer. I think if Joe Johnson can play at the level we've seen him play in the last few years, I think Overseas Elite is going to be tough to beat on their way for would be their 5th title. And I know that's kind of the easy answer, but when the Bulls were winning 6 in a row, you weren't picking anyone else. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the easy answer is the answer you
don't think too hard.
But we do also say that Carmen's crew, they're the defending champs until beaten. So to not talk about them in the discussion.
Well said.
Well, that's your line, Joey.
No, you're right. It's
to not talk about them wouldn't be fair. But I think there are a lot of teams that can get
There's
it
like
done.
8. I think there's 8 teams. There's 8 teams that should be – they're the elite teams, and you guys are one of them.
Is the 8 teams you think a top 8 seed?
You know what? I don't know because I know that the TBT likes to do the whole pit people against each other type of deal, whether it's having the Big X team play Carmen's crew, Ohio State against Ohio State.
What you going to get.
Exactly. So I don't know if those 8 teams will necessarily be the top 8. But I think that in my head, I have 8 teams. The money team included, Carmen's crew included, Overseas Elite included, Boeheim's Army included. You guys could probably guess the other 4, but I think that they have distinct advantages, whether it's veteran. I think playing in the TBT, do or die that's not for everyone,
Yeah, a lot of people that hasn't played, they think it's to come in there, let me get warmed up and
not how it works.
By then the game over with. We
talked to guys yesterday. We interviewed 2 guys from Everline Drive, and they didn't know what the elam ending was. You got to know. You got to have a strategy for the end of the game.
That's a fact. That's a
Jordon,
fact.
I think this too. I think if you guys had an opportunity to really get to play together and practice together and do more than just show up after a few months of quarantine, I think you guys would definitely be a top 2-3 favorite for the whole thing. Just looking at the roster.
You don't know if we haven't been practicing with each other.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm just saying. We don't know what we've been doing.
All right. Well, but there's some guys that you just signed 2-3 days ago that signed from different teams and stuff like that.
We haven't been together.
This isn't the NBA. This isn't college. He could have been
tampering
playing with guys for months before.
TBT allows tampering.
I could have been working out with the guy every day, and then so happened he said, "I'm gonna play." You never know.
Exactly. But you agree with me that a team like Carmen's crew has an advantage over even the teams that are veteran because they played college together. Like
for sure.
It's like riding a bike for them.
For sure. That's a huge advantage for sure. Hands down. And two, like when we're Jimmer and us, we just showed up. That was the first time us playing together.
And it went pretty well.
Jimmer showed up pulling up from 50 feet behind the three-point line like he always does.
I'm used to, I played with him, so I'm used to that.
I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't get starstruck like super easily anymore after playing college basketball and being around so many guys like all the time and like being around Alex Meacham, and stuff. But like I was, when he ran out of the tunnel, like I was on my Snapchat videotaping it, watching him warm up, sitting courtside. Like
bucket.
Oh man. I mean like junior high Joey Lane would have killed to watch him play live.
Listen, I never forget we was playing and I was on the court with him and he must have scored at least 13 to 15 points straight when I was in the G League. And it got to a point where I would run to the corner and I forgot that I was on the court a few times. Like I would just sit there like, what in the world? Bucket. Oh, I got to get back.
That's so funny you say that because I have that exact same feeling, but for the wrong reason when I'm playing pickup with my teammates. Like I get in the habit of running just like corner to corner, like up and down the court, not leaving the three-point line. And I'm like, shoot, I'm actually playing. Like, it's that same feeling, but a little bit different because I'm not playing with Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was definitely a fun time playing with him. I seen him do some crazy things.
He might be like the most underrated microwave guy of all time.
Yeah,
right.
All he has to do is see one thing go in, just one time. He can miss 10 in a row and still shoot a 50-footer, and if it goes in, it is a problem.
And it's incredible because like some people are like that, but like it's like mid-range, like post up fadeaway. They don't care if they made 8, but he's shooting from the timeout hash, like
it's crazy,
like a layup.
That was my matchup every day in practice. Like every time I walked into practice, I told him at the beginning of the year, I said, "Yo, I'm guarding you every day in practice, and I'll pick you up full court every single day." And we used to go at it.
And that's why you guys are, as close as you are, probably, right?
Yeah, that's my guy. Good man, great guy.
What other questions do you have before we let you go? You want a Q&A? That was a long-winded answer.
All right, who's your favorite fighter?
My favorite, Andrew, you can go first.
All right. Well, here's my question. Are we taking Floyd out of it?
You pick who you want.
Yeah, but if we say Floyd, you're going to think we're lying to you. And if we don't say him, then you're going to think.
You got your opinion. So. You got your opinion.
For a while, I really liked watching Deontay Wilder. I thought because I'm into the showmanship. I like watching the cool introductions and stuff like that.
Of course.
But watching the fighting and the skills, I definitely like watching Floyd. The quick, fast, short, powerful. But in terms of like from the start of the fight to the finish, unless it's a loss to Tyson Fury, I like watching Deontay Wilder. So there's my answer.
Okay.
Let me preface my answer with saying I'm not a big fight guy. Like I'm just not.
Okay.
I'm a big sports guy, so I follow it, And also, truth be told, the only thing college athletes are allowed to gamble on is fighting, because only sports like they tell us that in the meeting, because you can't bet on anything that is funded by the university, and there's no boxing team or UFC team,
Right.
So I remember before the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
That means you used to bet in college, huh?
No.
You're a big gambler?
Now I am because I wasn't allowed to.
I'm wearing my shirt right now says I don't have a gambling problem, I have a competition problem. I'm wearing the MJ.
It ain't gambling. It ain't gambling if you win.
Exactly.
That has been my life motto for so long. But in all seriousness, I didn't gamble during college because you don't know me very well. I'm like so scared of that stuff, like so scared. But I scared of getting kicked off the team because I got my dream spot. Like I'm not doing anything.
Of course.
Yeah. But I did bet on the McGregor-Mayweather fight because our compliance lady was like, "Hey guys, just so you know, you are allowed to do this." I'm like, "Okay." and I bet on McGregor.
You lost money for sure. I know you.
Oh yeah, but there's no money to be made for a college kid betting on Floyd. You know?
Why isn't it?
Because I would have had to bet hundreds and hundreds of dollars that I didn't have to win 50.
But you knew you was gonna get your 50.
You're right. But if some crazy reason McGregor would have won, that would have been nuts. But anyway, I digress.
You were saying that to the wrong guy. I'm talking about if.
I'm going to be honest, though.
Free money.
You appreciate that. I wouldn't lie. You know?
It's free money.
I understand, but
free
it's
money.
not.
Even if it was $2, it's $2 you didn't have before.
You're right, but is $2 enough to get me excited? Probably not. That's what I was thinking.
If you say I won, you was more excited to say I lost.
I was more excited of the story, like, hey man, but how crazy would it have been if it happened? You
was the one in the billions.
Anyway, my answer to your question is when Andy Ruiz won that fight.
That was crazy.
That was so insane.
That shocked me.
I'm a big Barstool fan, so like I listen to Part of My Take a lot, and they talked about that fight for an entire episode, and I've never laughed harder because this dude is. I mean, he's an incredible athlete, obviously, but does he look like one? No.
That's what's crazy. He shocked the world.
Exactly. And if you can shock the world, like, that's good enough for me, especially as a guy that I only know him because it was such a huge deal. You know, like, I don't bat an eye when these other, you know, when the UFC's happening every Saturday night, I couldn't tell you one guy. But I will never forget Andy Ruiz. Never, ever.
That's crazy.
Jordon, I'm throwing it back. I got a question for you / comment. So my favorite boxing highlight, I think it's when Floyd is against Pacquiao, and Pacquiao is trying to
get her a towel, please. Sorry about that.
I think it's when Floyd is fighting Pacquiao, and Pacquiao's throwing a bunch of punches, and Floyd's just dodging them, saying nope, 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 nope. So do you have a moment in boxing, and whether it can be Floyd or not, that you were like, that was a cool moment, I'm going to remember that moment for the rest of my life?
That's crazy because I've been around boxing so long, actually going to fights. Man.
Do you have a favorite Floyd fight maybe? That might be a better question.
I mean, definitely the Pacquiao, how everything was just – it was like in a crazy event. Like it was like a holiday.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts. Even the McGregor, I was at the McGregor fight, and how Vegas is when Floyd fights, like Vegas turns to something else. Like it's a whole thing, like a whole deal.
It becomes all the eyes of the world.
It's crazy. And I think the cool thing too about some things is just like the behind the scenes stuff, like when you watching him train, like my man's training at 4:00 in the morning, like, and just being in the gym sometimes when it's just us in there and like them talks and stuff like that are the stuff like I probably remember most about certain fights. But then like I remember when he fought Berto, his Berto's family was in the crowd like yelling at Floyd and stuff, and Floyd looked over and winked at him and stuff, saying he can't touch me, like little stuff like that. Like that's crazy.
That's why boxing is so, I mean, like I wish I was into boxing because the showmanship, like there's just, I mean, like you think about some of the legends of sports in general, and a handful of them are boxers, whether it's Muhammad Ali, Floyd, Mike Tyson, like those dudes they transcend sport. Like they're not just.
Yeah, you have to really be to me, you got to be like a people's person. Like you have to be like, you can be the greatest fighter in the world, but if you don't have no personality or people person, like you're not going to get to that next level. Like you have to have some, even if you're the bad guy, you still have to have some type of charisma.
That's how those guys, I am convinced that half of them, and obviously I can't speak for Floyd, they're as good of boxers as they are, they're good actors because they can't really mean everything that they're saying. It's like they got it on a sheet of paper right outside the screen and they're just going down the list.
It's crazy. Something like when you around Floyd sometimes, like some of the stuff, like you be like, yo, this man is like this 24/7. It's crazy.
Jordon, something that I think is funny about boxing is when you watch a fight with a bunch of people that have no clue about boxing, and
That's me.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, Floyd for sure won that round. Or like, no way he won that round. I'm always sitting there. I'm like, dude, you have no clue who won that round. I'm like, the only people that actually know are the fans that are diehard fans and the judges that are actually scoring the fight.
Yeah,
like people
it's even times when like it's probably fighters that be like, oh yeah, he definitely won, and then they get to the cards and it's completely different. Like it's so crazy when it comes to boxing. And even me as a fan, like when I'm watching sometimes and somebody throw a punch, I'm like, oh, if that would have hit you, champ, like you would have done. But then on my head, I'm like, I know he's seen the punch and moved out the way, but I still like my stomach drops and everything watching him fight.
Have you ever sparred with him a little bit?
No.
What? But like,
For
never.
what?
Like,
I got nothing to prove.
I know, but I'm picturing you guys like shooting around and then just like I don't know. I mean, I know that my teammates like we would. I mean, it's fake, but fight in the locker room.
That's different.
But those are my best friends, you know. So it's like the same. I don't know. Obviously, they're not Floyd Mayweather, so I mean,
he might throw a little fake punch or something, but you can hear it. Like you'll hear like, oh.
Oh yeah, and your stomach would be in your shoes.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want no smoke with that.
Jordon, my last question. All right. Despite the recent retirement, do you think we see a Mayweather-McGregor round 2?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know anything, and I think so.
Is that going to be breaking news on SportsCenter tomorrow that you just said that to us?
To me, I think it's all I think McGregor retired, just building. They're both coming out of retirement to fight each other. Like it's all a build up. That's me personally. I know for sure he's having expedition fights. I know that for sure. I want to say he's having one in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I heard one like in Japan or something too.
He just had one in Japan not too long ago. So he's for sure having a couple of those, but
he's in shape. That's what you're saying. He's ready.
Yeah, he's in shape. We've been last week we've been running every day about 8 miles.
With a sweatshirt on and sweatpants, that's what boxers do, right?
Yeah, you got to break that sweat.
All I know about boxing is Rocky and Creed. That's it.
So you're one of the guys that would be yelling during the fight saying he won that round, huh?
No,
Joey? No, Joey, not you.
Oh, no. I'm like you, Andrew. I like, if me and my buddies are like watching a UFC fight or whatever, because there's no other sports on, they'll be yelling like, we had to have won that fight. And I'll be sitting there like, guys, we have no idea. You know that. And they'll be like, yeah, you're right. We have no idea. And then that third round, like we're sitting there like, it's a pretty cool feeling, honestly, when you have no clue. Like you're just like you feel like you're in the like you're in it, you know. Like
like mostly every fight. Like I have so many like friends and really close friends that fight, and everyone like I'm sitting there like just locked to the thing. And after each round, like I stand up, walking back and forth, like, I'm so nervous the entire fight. It's crazy.
It's crazy because it's pretty quick too, you know. Like
yeah, it really is.
Before you know it, I can't even imagine, because if I am walking around sweating like I can't even imagine what you guys probably feel. You're probably, oh my God, that's just insane.
It is. It's crazy.
All right, Jordon, thank you. This has been a blast. In the next couple days, we're expecting a video from Floyd saying, check out Inside TBT. We're expecting a couple pairs of socks, and we're expecting tickets to the next Vegas fight, which may be in 2025, but the three of us will be there. We'll be watching. The Money Team coming to a pay-per-view event near you this summer. Just kidding. It's all on ESPN. Jordon Crawford, thank you. This has been a blast. We'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it.